talks about the regular employee wages. The director is pretty much 50-50 between the water and sewer fund. The foreman comes complete, there's a foreman out of the sewer fund, there's a foreman out of the water fund. The field workers is broken down, 3 of them are out of sewer, 5 are out of the water fund. The administrative staff are out of the water fund, so if you kind of flip between those 2 pages, it breaks that down. If you don't have that, I can share it with you later.
It's okay to share with me because I don't have it. It'll give a breakdown.
Yeah, go through 60 and 64.
Okay. Not what my question was pertaining, but that's okay. I don't want to talk about mine because I know there's debt service and not really trying to do the best we can with that. Then, Mr. Mayor, I think I'm done, and I thank you for the opportunity to ask the questions and get an answer.
Well, I look forward every year because that's called due diligence, and I appreciate it. That's what we're here for, is to answer and do our due diligence. Hopefully we can answer the questions, and thank you for coming and showing that type of interest in your village to see where the money goes. And that's a good thing. That's what all residents should do the same thing. Thank you so very much. Any other questions? Okay, at this time, we did go over the appropriations. Is there any other questions? Because that's on the second part of the agenda. Does anyone have any questions?
About the appropriation?
Other than, yeah, you have one. I'm just saying, is there any other, anybody else have any other questions about, because we went out of order, but that's okay. Sure.
Okay. Can you explain to me on page 70, maybe Beth can explain it to me. It said you refer to, we have a $4 million reserve in TIP 3.
More I can tell you that.
Oh, look, that's more, I'm sorry. And it actually shows deficit of 0 down there. So can you explain to me how we have 4 million and it actually shows 0? Page 70.
The total revenue we are going to get through the tax levy is $826,1855 and $10 in interest. The expenditure or it transfers out from TIF number 3 is approximately $826,028.55. So that balances out TIF 3. The debt service the debt service there is a certain deficit of approximately about $3.7 million that is coming out from the cash reserves that will be paid out from the cash reserves.
So debt service shows in here?
No, it need not be shown here because that is a debt service fund. That is not a TIF 3 fund. When we get the tax money, we will transfer over the tax money into debt service funds. Debt service fund is a separate fund. It is not connected with TIF 3 only. The TIF 2 and TIF 3 funds, when we levy the tax, we collect the tax money, put it in TIF 2 and TIF 3 funds. Then for the purposes of debt payment, we will transfer those funds into a separate fund called debt service fund. The debt service fund will hold all the money for and the benefit of bond payment then it will be paid out from that service fund.
Well, that's, there's a bond payment that's due, that's more than what was passed due. And, why haven't we used the reserve to pay that, bond payment?
We have only 125% of the coverage of the debt service. For example, if we have $1 million in debt, we will have $1,250,000 in reserve. We are legally obligated to keep that money in the reserve.
Bond payment's on like
The bond payment can be paid out from 1.25 million, whatever we have in the reserve. In addition to the reserve, we will levy the tax levy in the amount of approximately about $750,000 for, in this example, we levy $750,000. We make the debt service payment approximately about $1,250,000. Still, we will have $750,000 in reserve. That is an ongoing process. Every year, we abate the taxes. For example, we may abate the 40% of the taxes, and we will levy only 60% of the taxes. It is ongoing. We are not supposed to levy 100% of the taxes because we have the cash reserve. If we do levy 100% of the taxes, we are in violation of the TIF Act. So we don't want to levy 100%. Therefore, we levy only 60% and we abate 40% on a regular basis every year. When the debt is completely eliminated, then we will not be levying any more taxes because the main premises is we borrow money to develop TIF districts, and once the debt is completely eliminated, we cannot levy any taxes.
Okay, questions and comments from the board? Trustee Todd?
I have nothing at this time.
No comment.
Trustee Brewer? Trustee Tate? Trustee Jones? Trustee Zupan?
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Grant?
No comment.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Jones. Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We'll take a 5-minute recess.
Jones.
Here.
Tate. Todd. Here. Zupan.
Here.
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session, discuss personnel matters, an update and pending litigation, collective bargaining matters, real estate, employment, and compensation as needed. Action to be taken after this time. It was moved by Trustee Todd, second by Trustee Brewer. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Grant. Here. Jones.
Yes.
Tate. Todd.
Yes.
Zupan.
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
Motion carried. We'll be back. was moved by trustee Todd, second by trustee Jones. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Brewer,
Here.
Grant,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
Tate, Todd. Here.
Motion carried. Approval of minutes. I entertain a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for May 23rd, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by trustee Todd, second by trustee Brewer. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Jones,
Yes.
Tate. Todd,
Yes.
Zupan,
No,
Brewer,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Motion carried. I'll entertain a motion to approve the special meeting minutes for May 23rd, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by trustee Todd and seconded by trustee Brewer. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Tate,
No.
Todd,
Yes.
Zupan,
abstain.
Jones,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Public comments. All questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter pertaining to the business of the village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate.
My name is Jackie Glaze. I would like to know why it was so important to take all the books out of the senior center and throw 500 books of the senior books in the garbage. The seniors paid for those books, and to me, Bernice owes the seniors the money for the books. I don't know why they had to be thrown away. If she didn't want them, the seniors would have taken them back. Our church, the Crossroads Church of God, is celebrating our first anniversary as a combination church this Sunday, July 30th. We are having an old-fashioned church picnic after services. We would love to have all of you stop by for the service at 11 a.m. or join us for the picnic at 1 o'clock. It is okay if you don't come to the service. Pastor still would like the whole community to be there. It seems like the village and the schools are not going to have book bags. So the Church of God is going to have book bags on August 12th, and they would appreciate if you'd like to donate any money towards that. They would really like to have that. That's all.
Just a quick answer to your question. I was not aware that the books were actually thrown away. I know they were taken out. Where did you get information that they were thrown away?
I was told they were thrown away because the library couldn't handle them.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's the first time I heard they were actually thrown away. I know they were taken out, but not actually thrown away. So I'll have to research that. I really didn't know. And as far as book bags, there's no obligation that the village nor the schools are obligated to give book bags. It's not that. It's just that we didn't have the money this time, or we don't have the money, period. We didn't have the money before it was donated. So that's why the village is not doing book bags. But I will check into the book bags being thrown away. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask Trustee Brewer, could you please let me know, or let us know what happened to the books?
The books were donated back to the library. She took them all. Mr. Harvey moved them out in hopes that we're going to get larger print books from Chicago Heights Library. We have some that's already en route, but the ones that were there, according to Lester Meeks, we didn't need them anymore, that we need larger prints, so I donated them back to the library. They were all taken to the library, and we're going to get some larger print books. They were not thrown away.
Thank you.
I'll check on that because I was told we threw them away because they weren't in boxes.
Like they were
We're
in
not
the
going to debate.
I'm not big, I'm just telling you, you're living in boxes.
Anyone else? Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I'm Francine Anderson, and I have a couple of things that I would like to bring to the board's attention. First of all, I want to thank the board for the public hearing that we just had on the budget. I appreciated the opportunity to have my questions answered for the first time in 4 years. So I want to thank you for that. I really do appreciate having that opportunity. Second of all, my neighbors and I have noticed that the grass cutting of the vacant properties, and I do want to thank the board for having Public Works, or is that the issue that Public Works now have employees that are able to do that, but for some of those where the hydrants were hidden, now you would finally see the fire hydrants, and I know I feel a little safer for those homes and with that have possibly could have been a fire hazard for us at any time. So I want to thank Public Works for that. My street is currently one of those that is under, that is being resurfaced. And I wanted to ask the engineer, why are we moving from concrete to, or Mr. McNeil, why are we moving from concrete to asphalt? Thank you.
Mother? But I think most of the streets in the village, though, are actually asphalt. I think most of them are actually asphalt. And I would say this, if they were to put concrete in your street, first of all, you wouldn't be able to drive with them right away. So you'd have to leave your car down the street somewhere. But second of all, they don't hold up too well with salt. Asphalt does a little bit better with salt than concrete. That's being an old engineer myself. Okay, any more questions? Okay, move on to reports of officers. The mayor's report. I have a proclamation here that I'm going to read in regards to National Nights Out. And it states, whereas the National Association of Town Watch sponsors a national community building campaign on August 1st entitled National Night Out. And whereas the National Night Out event provides an opportunity for neighbors in our village to join over 38 million people, plus 16,000 communities from 50 states, U.S. territories, Canadian cities, and military bases worldwide. And whereas National Night Out is an annual community building campaign that promotes police-community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie to make our neighborhoods a safer, more caring place to live. And whereas neighbors in our village assist the local law enforcement agency through joint community building efforts and support National Night Out 2017. And whereas it is essential that all neighbors of Sauk Village come together with police and fire officials and work together to build a safer, more caring community. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and board of trustees of the village of Sauk Village that our village support National Nights Out and do hereby call upon all neighbors to join the Sauk Village Police Department, Sauk Village Fire Department, and our National Association of Town Watch in support of the National Night Out on Tuesday, August 1st, 2017. Further, let it be resolved that the mayor and board of trustees do hereby proclaim Tuesday, August 1st, 2017 as the National Night Out in the village of Sauk Village. Dated this day, 25th of July, Mayor Derek Burgess. Okay, thank you. At this time, I want to I want to entertain a motion. I will entertain a motion to appoint Francine Anderson as a police and fire commissioner.
So moved.
Second.
The move by trustee Zupan, second by trustee Brewer. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Todd.
Yes.
Zupan.
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Motion carries. I'll also entertain a motion to appoint Charles Pondexter as zoning board of appeals commissioner. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. It was moved by trustee Zupan, second by trustee Jones. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Zupan,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Motion carried. At this time, Madam Clerk, would you please swear in police ex-trustee, police commissioner Francine Anderson.
You see it?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Francine Anderson,
I, Francine Anderson,
having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office of
to the office of
Sauk Village Police and Fire Commission
Sauk Village Police and Fire Commission
in the village of Sauk Village,
in the village of Sauk Village,
in the county of Cook and Will,
in the county of Cook and Will,
aforesaid, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police and Fire Commission
of the Office of Police and Fire Commission
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Subscribed and sworn before me on this 25th day of July in the year 2017. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Mr. Charles Pondexter, would you please come up and get sworn in as zoning board and appeals commission?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Charles Pondexter,
I, Charles Pondexter,
having been appointed
have been appointed
to the office of zoning board and appeal
to the office of zoning board and appeal
in the village of Sauk Village,
in the village of Sauk Village,
in the county of Cook and Will.
county of Cook and Will.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of zoning board and appeals.
of the office of zoning board and appeal.
And I'll do so to the best of my ability.
Do so at the best of my ability.
Sworn in, subscribed and sworn to before me this 25th day of July, 2017.
Also, I'd like to have Mr. Gary Bell, please come up. He's our newly working for the ESDA, Emergency Services. We'd like to have him sworn in to that office.
That's your mark. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Gary Bell,
I, Gary Bell,
so solemnly swear
so solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
I will support the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the laws and ordinances of the village of Sauk Village,
the laws and ordinances of the village of Sauk Village,
and that I will,
and I will,
as a member of
as a member of
the Emergency Management Agency,
the Emergency
or
Management
ESDA, I will protect to the best of my ability
I will protect to the best of my ability
the lives and property
the lives and property
the citizens of our village,
citizens of our village,
that I will,
and I will,
as a member of the Emergency Management Agency,
as a member of the Emergency Management Agency,
respond and give my efforts and services
and
as
services
an officer,
as an officer,
obeying the commands of my officers,
and the commands of my officers,
and serving with loyalty and pride
and serve with loyalty and pride.
in our Sauk Village Emergency Management Agency.
Sauk Village Emergency Management Agency.
Subscribed and sworn before me this 25th day of July, 2017. Congratulations.
All right, I will entertain a motion from the board to approve Timothy Lapp and Associates to oversee our prosecution and adjudication.
So,
Second.
It was moved by trustee Grant, second by trustee Todd. Any questions? Madam Clerk.
Grant,
yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tates,
Yes.
Todd. Yes. Zupan,
Yes.
Brewer. Yes.
Motion carried. I have one last item on the back table. They have there is an annual back to school health and awareness fair. It will be held August 5th in Cal City, Green Lakes Forest Preserve. That's right on 159th Street. They're going to have food, fun, and entertainment, and school supplies. So this will be something in conjunction with our state rep, LG Sims, our state senator, Donnie Trotter, and our state commissioner, our county commissioner, Stanley Moore. So they'll be out there. They're supporting this. There will be book bags that I was told, and other school supplies. So it's on the back table. Please take one, and I hope you guys show up to it. The other one is National Nights Out. I'll let the chief deliberate on that a little bit more, but it's something that we're going to be having in 2 weeks. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a few things that I would like to report on. I thank you for approving the minutes from May 23rd. I attempted to encapsulate as many suggestions as I could. I could not entertain all of them because some of yours conflicted with others, so I just did the very best that I can. But know that moving forward, our minutes will not necessarily be verbatim, even though I truly appreciate your feedback. It will not be verbatim. They will be dealing with primarily action items, and it will be enough information so that if you were to look at it a year from now, you will still have a very clear understanding of what transpired at that particular meeting. In terms of roll call, if you notice, I did roll call a little differently tonight, and that was because I was asked to do so by one of the trustees, and I have found that to be a pretty good practice. So instead of just going alphabetically at each motion, I have been really just I came up with a system that rotates the order of the votes, so that you each get a chance to go first, you each get a chance to go last, whatever, and I'll do that on the motion only. In terms of the lawyers, I am very, very pleased to report that they have lessened considerably, to the point that I really think that once a month is sufficient. Since your last report, we've had only 4 lawyers request. One was from Rosemary Ketchum, and her request was regarding the senior center. We have one from a company called CBRE, and they wanted a very, very extensive property condition assessment. So I thank the fire department as well as community development for completing those assessments. And we were able to get that out the door in less than a week. We also received another interesting for you. This was from Boston University, and they're doing a study epidemic on information regarding gender issues in city government. So they wanted to know when each of you were elected, what your sex was and how long you've been in office and all of that. So we provided them that information also within a couple of days. Then we received another one looking at information on assessments, invoices, and code violations for a particular property here in the village. They are all closed. We have responded all within the required time limit. Lately, we've been providing a number of notary services. In fact, just since July, I've done 9 alone, and I'm not certain how many others have done. So our residents are finding out that we do provide that service. We provide that service much cheaper than they can anyplace else, some certain other than free, and they really appreciate it. In terms of the Memorial Brick Program, I thank Trustee Todd who communicated with the previous clerk, and we were able to see that we had a couple of outstanding orders for bricks that came in toward the beginning of May. So currently we have 5 bricks that are paid for, that are waiting to be ordered, but we generally try to order in groups of 10 so that the shipping is less amount of money. So we just need 5 orders, and on the back table are some applications. So if you would like a memorial brick for yourself or a loved one, please complete that application and return it. I appreciate that. And for those of you who have placed your monies already and your order, we ask for your patience. We will be ordering them. I sent out a memo to all of the trustees and to the mayor earlier last week regarding the codification of the code books, because you all asked me at the last committee meeting to check into it. I am hoping that you had an opportunity to read that memo that I sent out, because I communicated with that company. There are articles of ordinances to be updated. And so we bring that out, that averages about $1,500 per year for a total cost of $7,652. I did communicate with the finance director, and he stated that there were monies available in the budget if you all were to so approve that amount, some coming from different line items, and I identified that in the memo to you as well. I also communicated with representatives, and I talked to them about having the need to do comparative searches, and so that we can have information readily available for you when it's time to amend ordinances. And I was informed that that information, for the most part, is already online. It's just that it wasn't working and functioning properly, so they've had their tech people work on it, and it should be resolving most of those issues. And they even offered a webinar. They offered a 101, but a 101 to me is the same as if we hooked up a LCD projector in here and showed you and hooked up the people to the phone. That's still considered one. And so I would ask for your consideration to set aside maybe 15, 20 minutes as a presentation at a committee meeting so that we can go through all of the nuances of a resource that we already have. Because if we were to look online right now, it clearly shows the amendment, it shows the actual ordinance, and then if you look down where it's not explained, you see some little numbers in parentheses. Those are all of the dates for which an ordinance has already been amended, and it has that number. Then at the very end of that page, it lists a chart of accounts for us. It's just we need to know how to utilize what we have so that it can be most beneficial to us. I'm asking that you advise on the direction that you would like to see us take where this issue is concerned. Personally, I would strongly urge that we consider not postponing updating any longer. I would recommend that we get on a monthly system of sending in our new, amended, revised ordinances, and then request quarterly supplements to the website so that we can all be greater informed and have the information readily at our fingertips. So that is that one. Another thing I would like to know is, how do you really prefer your packets? I mean, we've been going back and forth. Some of you like the notebooks, some of you do not. Some of you are not 100% pleased with the order. Some of you want the tab numbers as well as the agenda items to match, and I promise you they will never match up simply because an agenda item is the Pledge of Allegiance, and there are no documents that can go in a binder or your packet that would have the Pledge of Allegiance in it. So the numbers are never going to be the same. We can place them in order of the agenda, and or I would invite you to look at the tabs, maybe we can label them differently. And it's your pleasure. I really want you to be pleased. I want you to be prepared to do the job that people have voted you to do. And in order to do that, I know that preparation is very, very important. So please share with me your feedback where that's concerned. Now, we're not having a running sale in the back, even though you all see all of the shirts laying all over the place. That's not because of a running sale. Those are sample shirts that we could possibly order. On one side for women, on the other side for the men. I have numbers on them, 1, 2, 3, because it's 3 shirts. Do not go by the color, go by the style. Some of them have button-down collars, some of them have open collars. The ladies have V-necks and whatever. Just want to know which type of shirt you prefer, and we would get, our logo put on it and whatever else, however you would want to design it. It's just something that a couple of us had talked about, and so I just followed up as I was asked. Mr. Mayor, that completes my report.
Can I just ask a question? Go ahead.
With the FOIAs, do we need to use any of the words for it or any of those words?
No. We sure did not. Oh, I'm sorry, there is one other thing I need you to put on. I'm sorry. And that is student governance. We talked about it last week, and I thought that it just needed to be on your agenda again. I don't know if we're taking a vote or what, but we are looking at putting 2 student governance days. One, so that youngsters can learn about the municipality here, and the other one, so that they can learn about governance of a school board. And we're looking at doing that sometime in December or January or whenever your preference and readiness is. And it is in the stage of still being developed.
My question was, for the 4th FOIA, who was the requester?
The company, the guy's name is Tyler Shalot, and the property address is 1705 217th Street.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, in regards to student government's code book codification and the shirts, could you please put that on the next committee meeting so we can discuss it? Because we have to look into payment. And I know you made an observation that with the codification that there's money in there, but I still need clarification before we go on with that. We need to find out more. So in other words, the board needs to deliberate and talk about that, so we can talk about that a little bit more. Thank you for your report, Madam Clerk. Yes.
Did we only contact one company for the code codification?
There is one company, Unicodes, who has started the process, and they are the ones that are recommended for the state. They handle all of our state accounts. And we have great history with Unicodes. So yes, they were the only ones that I contacted because they were in the midst of doing a job or had provided a quote back in 2016 that was not approved. So basically, they just added on to the existing order that they already had in place.
Okay. Treasury report, Ms. Mary Escobedo.
Mayor and Board. Nothing significant to report, but just to let you know that we should have the main elector's treasury report for the next board meeting.
Thank you so much. Village engineer, Mr. Jim Zarni.
Thank you, Mayor. An update on the 2017 road resurfacing project. Progress since the last report. The subbase on Peachtree Lane was certified, so no subgrade improvements are necessary, which ended up saving the village a ton of money. So that was great news. We'll be able to bank that and use that for next year's program. Also conducted was driveway removal and replacement, asphalt patching, aggregate base repairs, and then vineyard surface course. So kind of getting to the end of the project, do some restoration, but everything's on schedule, looking good.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Reports from departments, committees, and commissions. In lieu of Al Starfaker, Deputy Ed Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. Over the past 2 weeks, the fire department responded to 27 calls. They are 2 fire calls, 2 lift assist, 4 ambulance assist, 2 box alarms, 1 vehicle fire, 6 vehicle accidents, 5 CO calls, 1 still alarm, 1 tree fire, 1 vehicle oil spill, 1 structure fire, and 1 structure fire involving fireworks. Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, also I'd like to mention that this August the 27th, we're having a pancake breakfast that starts at 8 o'clock and at noon at the fire station. Adults, $5. Seniors and kids is $4. And children under 3, free. And with the night out, the fire department responding with, we're going to have a structure built. We're going to show the residents and board mayor how fast the fire can spread. And we're going to also give away free 10-year fire alarms. As of July 1st, the state fire marshal has mandated that if you change your smoke detectors in your house, they have to be the 10-year smoke from the battery that goes into them. If you put a new one in, they have to be a 10-year one. We will be giving away, I believe, 60 of those that night. And Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
I want to go back to one thing you said. Is there a 10-year battery?
Yes, sir.
Where do you get that from? Okay. That's a good one. Thanks so much. 10-year battery? Yes, sir. Police Chief, Mr. Kowalski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Trustees. I'll be in line behind you for that 10-year battery. For the last 2 weeks, we had 349 calls for service with 17 arrests. Cases of interest, as everyone knows, on July 6th, the police department responded to a shooting that occurred on the 223rd block of Clyde. Victim did not survive the shooting. Our detectives were contacted and they activated the South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force to assist with the investigation of this matter. Working tirelessly, the detectives and the task force were able to develop several witnesses who provided information where the Cook County State's Attorney's Office felt there was sufficient evidence and information to obtain an arrest warrant for an offender. After securing a warrant, our detectives sought the assistance of the FBI's Fugitive Task Force, since the individual we were looking for was on federal house arrest. That individual was then arrested on July 13th and turned over to our custody. On July 14th, the task force was reconvened and the investigation continued to solidify the charges. On that same date, the State's Attorney's Office approved first-degree murder charges for the offender, who was then taken for bond hearing and received a $2 million bond. It was great work by everybody, and quite a few individuals participated, which made this successful. In contrast to that, on July 15th, our department received a call from St. Margaret Hospital that they had an uncooperative juvenile victim who was shot several times in the leg on the 22400 block of Yates. We had very little information from the victim or witnesses with the victim at the time, but the residents in the area have helped tremendously by providing video of traffic that was found in and around the area at the time of the shooting. The detectives are continuing this investigation. Our old squads, I'd like to say they are now gone. So there's a lot of displaced rabbits and raccoons from underneath there. I want to thank Kevin Weller and Public Works. They did a great job at helping us get rid of those cars, as well as Clerk Marvin Campbell Pruitt for the assistance in obtaining all the titles. Our Police and Fire Board will be working with the Resource Management Group in administering the police test this Saturday, July 29th. So we have a test which will be administered at Lincoln Way North High School in Frankfurt. It's too late to put in any more applications, so that's pretty well set. And last but not least, National Night Out. As the mayor mentioned, the village is hosting the yearly National Night Out on August 1st, next week Tuesday, between 6 and 8. Come out and meet your local law enforcement and fire department agencies. Engage and connect with your neighbors and continue to build a safer, more caring community. This is just one step and the first step in building and strengthening the police and community partnership. The event helps build connections within the community and share safety and awareness information among the neighbors. Become part of the tradition that we celebrate every year here in Sauk Village and across the nation. We will be selling food. We will also be selling drinks. All proceeds go to Shop with a Cop, which will be held in early December. So come on out, have a good night. There'll be, like Deputy Chief Myers mentioned, there'll be a demonstration. The police department has plenty of handouts. There'll be a live DJ. It'll be just a good time for people to get together and meet your neighbors and talk. Thank you. That's it for my report.
Thank you, Chief. As a director, Alan Maverick.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Just a couple of things. On top of the fire calls that we went through with the fire department, we also assisted Stanger with a bale of hay on fire. Somebody was pulling a bale of hay and got caught on fire. They dumped it off by Blue Trail High School. We assisted them with that. Also, Cook County called us out to do a rollover semi over here on Route 30, over here by Fort Heights. We had the interstate blocked off. That was the other day. And I just want to welcome Mr. Gary Bell, one of my new hires. That is all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Development, Mr. Wilson. You can go ahead and clap. Clap for him. I thought everybody clapped when you got to raise his hand. You have more accolades. He's got more accolades than we have money. So, yeah. Economic Development, Mr. Joseph Wiswat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. Last week, as you know, the Village Board of Trustees approved a resolution authorizing the sale of 32.9 acres of land owned by the village. This land is within the Regista Center, the village's TIF district number 3. The sale of the land was for $1.35 million, and the buyer of the land is Mr. Len McHenry. We met with the buyer, his attorney, his engineer, and discussed some preliminary draft site plans and infrastructure that they require. Their engineer will be discussing the other logistics with our village engineer, Mr. Jim Zarnick, including water, sewer connections. Additionally, the buyer will be doing their due diligence, including a Phase 1 environmental site assessment, which is typical for any real estate development, to identify historical, existing, and potential concerns. Their due diligence, engineering, and final site plan may take several months to complete, and once that is completed, they'll be presenting that information to the mayor and board at a meeting, and then we'll move on to the closing process of the land, and at that time, ownership will transfer, money will change hands, etc. Mayor Burgess and myself met with said enterprises and with Pratt Industries since my last report, and I'm glad that there are partners for progress with the village. We've reviewed the proposed improvements Mr. Ted Panos' plaza is proposing. This would be the plaza from Washington Square Restaurant to the old laundromat in that area on Sauk Trail. Mr. Panos is proposing $169,000 in improvements, including resurfacing the entire parking lot, new tenant pole sign that was knocked down in the windstorm not too long ago, and a proper landscape. Sorry, I'm getting invaded by bugs. And a proper landscaping of the parkway area, including decorative stone, large concrete planters in that area. We've narrowed the scope of the project to fit within Mr. Panos' budgetary constraints. We look forward to these improvements beginning soon. We've also been selected for the next phase in our funding request for updating our comprehensive plan. We will be moving into an interview phase with the Chicago Metropolitan Agency on Planning. The interview process will allow them to gain a deeper understanding of the project and its scope, desired outcomes, timetables, etc. These will take place next week. I will be keeping the board abreast of the outcome. We're seeking between $100,000 to $150,000 in technical assistance. Finally, I will be attending the South Suburban Mayors and Managers and Chicago Southland Economic Development Summer Forum this Friday in the village of Flossmoor with the mayor. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Wizard. I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, this sale of this land was something that Mr. Wizard actually went out when I first got him on board with the village and did due diligence to find a buyer to buy that land just west of 394 and south of Sauk Trail. That's something that I'm hoping, and I know it's going to be for $1.3 million for someone to buy that. They're going to put something there that will enhance this village. As I stated before, it'll be something that this board will know about. They'll be voting on it, and hopefully this will be a mainstay and will bring other businesses into the village. So for them spending that much money and getting that much land, I'm sure they're going to put something in there, and this board will know exactly what it is as we get the plans and then talk about and vote on it. But I just want to say kudos to something like that to sell that type of land here. It's been a long time since we sold some land that large. I think the last time we sold land that large was Winnipeg. So that's something that I'm kind of proud of, and I'm hoping that we can get more. Thank you. Public Works, Mr. Kevin Love.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item on the list is landscaping. We're still doing a lot of landscaping. We've had an excessive amount of rain now that's assisted us a little, but hurt us a little. The rain helps the hole settle, so it's easier for us to landscape, but also it settles out some of the landscaping we've done, and we have to go back over it. Everything will settle. We are still out about day to day. Item 2 is water main breaks. In the last couple of weeks, we've had an excessive amount of water breaks, also due to the weather conditions. Ground has been extremely dry, open, very cracked and open, I would say lighter than ever. And as this excessive rain comes in, fills all those voids up, it puts a lot of strain on the mains and some of the other infrastructure underground. So we've had about 5 or 6 water main breaks, 7/8, 7/9, 7/10, 7/17, 7/18. These were all the dates of water main breaks, couple in one night, 12-hour water main break. Just recently also, that's not in my report, but we did have a few, we had a hydrant, some bolts fail on a hydrant over in the Carolina section, 225th and Carolina section. This is an area we're having problems with, some newer infrastructure, but the bolts on some of the hydrants and the valves over there are failing. So out of the blue, we'll lose a valve, it'll pop the valve head off, or it'll pop the hydrant off, and we have to shut everything down to repair it. We did have a hydrant go down, and then turning it back all on, we had a valve bolts running out. There are other valves and hydrants in this area. We're going to approach them pretty quickly here, so get in front of the ball before they get out. Interviews for all the part-time seasonal help are done. Our helpers have started on 7/20. Hopefully that'll start to assist us on some of the grass cutting, pothole patching, tree removals, and all the other objects and things we're doing. Grass cutting vacant lots. As of today, we've checked 46 lots, 21 have been cut, and this will be where we'll adjust our seasonal help in to move a lot faster on these lots. Sanitary sewer complaints. We had a large sewer complaint on 215th Place in Orion. As we started to follow down where our sewer main runs, it runs to the end of Orion, and it runs out to the field, the farm field, and then it runs the back of the train track to Torrance Avenue. As we walked into the Orion field, we noticed that there were several manhole covers removed and saw large pieces of debris out of the manhole, from parts, cars, from couches, furniture, and all kinds of stuff, which backed up the whole section of town if we did not take care of it. At this time right now, we have to go back there, put the lids permanently on, and we're going to bury them in dirt. So hopefully the kids will not be able to dig them up again and remove the lids to drop the debris. And we didn't have any more sewer calls along with the rain at this time, which is really surprising with all the rain we've had, which is a good thing. Next is staff working to clean up in the garden section of town. In the garden section of town is the Cornell section of town, Prairie, and between Jeffrey and Cornell. We've had an excessive amount of graffiti on the signs over there, some gang-related graffiti, and almost every sign in the area was tagged with something. Most of them are going to have to be replaced because the graffiti will not come off without damaging the signs. We also completed our Southside shutoff list. The list was roughly about 150 on the list. It took about 2.5 days to complete, and then about another day for turnouts from the ones that were stragglers. Dead tree complaints. We are going to start the dead tree complaints on Sauk Trail and Torrance Avenue. We have some residents that sent notices in that they've had some in their yards. We will address those individually, but as if they're not something that's a hazard, the hazard will be addressed immediately, but if it's not a hazard, we're going to wait until the whole street can be addressed. So we're not going to forget about it, but we'll deal with the hazard first, and then we'll deal with the whole street hopefully at the end. Makes it a lot easier for us. And the last item is street flooding. We haven't had a lot of street flooding, but in some of the areas we have, the debris we're finding is a lot of garbage and still a lot of grass clippings and stuff from the yards. So we ask residents, please do not cut your grass in the streets. We're asking code enforcement to go and be diligent about writing tickets rather than warning, because it's something they should be doing anyway, and it seems to be in an area on a regular basis. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Well. I just wanted to reiterate and give kudos out also to the Public Works Director, Kevin Weller. I did have a lot of residents, and one of them was here today that stated that they see a difference, see a change, that the homes that were not previously taken care of or cut, they're starting to get cut. And that was one of the reasons why we did put on summer help, so we get some of this work caught up as far as summer help and get the trees in the yards, because that's a safe point. People can hide as tall as some of the grasses are, people can actually hide in there and see it. So I just want to say thank you for what's going on, and continue to work, continue to work. Okay, finance administration, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. I have 2 items. The finance department has filed the second quarterly COPS report, and we have billed about $11,672 that has been remitted by the Department of Justice on July 7th. The second report for DECO has been submitted already. That's a short report that was for the only 1 month, because after July 1st there is an extension until August of 2018. Therefore, we had to do one short report for 1 month that I have reported already. The OSLAT grant report has been submitted by the Robinson Engineering on time. The next thing is the audit is going to be wrapped up pretty soon. I'm expecting information from the actuaries, Tim Sharp. Once we get it, I'm going to send it over to our auditors for the completion, and hopefully it should be pretty soon. The next thing is the second installment of tax levy is due by August first week in Tickle County, and we can expect the second installment coming into village pretty soon, probably around August 10th to August 15th. We can expect the tax levy money. The last one is water sewer accounts receivable has been reduced by approximately $200,000. That means we have collected more money than before. As of 4/30/2017, there was a balance of approximately about $500,000, and right now the balance is approximately about $300,000. That means we have aggressively collected more money than before. That ends my report. Thank you, Mayor and the board.
Thank you. Mr. Zinsky's not here, but I do want to inform the board and the public that we are, and we will be hiring another person for summer for code enforcement. So we will have 2 people out there on the streets writing citations for those that don't have their places up to code. So I just wanted to bring that up, that we are going to have another person out on the streets for part-time, but they will be out there. Okay. Thank you, guys. Reports from trustees and standing committees.
Mayor?
Yes.
You don't mind, I have one request.
Okay, sure.
I request Mayor and the board to approve 2 hand checks. The invoices, we did not get it on time. There is one check for R&R, or repairs and maintenance, in the amount of $2,340. And one more check for SMART for ESTA department in the amount of $100.
Okay, you said the first one was for who?
For R&R maintenance.
R&R.
R&R maintenance.
Okay.
Second one is SMART, SMART.
And that was for 100.
$100.
Okay, I'll have to add that in to when we vote on the
Accounts payable.
accounts payable. I'll have to ask that for a separate motion. I'd rather do it this way than be calling on the phone.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Reports of trustees and standing committees. Public service. Trustee Bernice Drew.
Mr. Mayor, I'm requesting that 2 items be added to the agenda for August 15th. One is organization makeup, those organizations that use the senior center. I'd like to have that discussion on the agenda. And also the second item, I'd like to some information about the read-only access to data in village files. And I'd like those to be added. Read access only to village files.
Oh, read access, okay.
And also, we need to talk about the organization makeup for those people who use for those residents, seniors, whatever, that use the senior center, because I think that's one of the issues that, that's plaguing the senior center. Those organizations and who can use it, who has to pay, who should charge, and I'd like to
So you want
discuss.
Madam Clerk to put on the agenda for the committee meeting discussing
Organization,
senior services.
organization makeup, and also read-only access and access to village files.
Okay.
And the last thing I want to talk about is the budget and also the appropriation ordinance that we talked about earlier. And this is my opinion. And
That can come, you can bring that in the comments.
huh?
You can bring that up during your comments, but right now I need to get your report from public service.
Well, public service, and I'm also wondering, since we can't contact Robinson Engineering, but I need some information. How would I go about getting that info? I don't need anything right now. Once I put it together.
You can talk about it because I'm on top of all the bills, and because our bills are kind of high and not extraordinary high, but I want to keep it, at least keep a lid on it right now to find out what we do. So just have everybody there's some people that have to actually contact them on a weekly basis, but if it's not something that we can't handle in-house, then, quite naturally we'll do that, but that's the reason for that. But you're saying that you don't have anything for public service, other than, I thought you had said you got some things from Jim's office. So you don't have anything? Okay. But you don't have any, your next meeting or anything like that?
No, is there a time frame or something?
No, I'm just asking.
No.
No time frame, that's what we
And we
do.
don't have any money, so,
That was
time,
nice.
was it right? We don't have any money.
For public service?
Being for infrastructure repair.
Well, we need a plan so we can know that we, if there's money available, this is how much it's gonna cost.
I know, that's probably, yeah,
Okay,
right now.
all right. Budget and finance, trustee Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last week, the committee did meet, and we are currently still powering through the finance policy procedures. And we hope to have something to the board at the second committee meeting in August to present. Hopefully, you can vote on it as a board in the second board meeting in September. If that's okay with you. All right, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Parks and Recs, trustee Calvin Jones.
This Saturday is open gym from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Saturday, September 16th is corn and dog roast from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any volunteers, please contact me if you want to help assist with any of the needs, or you may have any ideas you want to bring to better the corn and dog roast. You'll be able to do that during our committee meeting. That would be August 3rd at 7 p.m. here in the Village Hall. That concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Jones. Housing and intergovernmental, trustee Tate.
No.
Thank you. Orders and review and beautification, trustee Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Beautification, I put the same plea out there every week. We need volunteers. Even if you were to take a gallon of water and water the plants that we have in the back of the hall here, something, anything. I'm always available. You can get a hold of me and we can set up something where we go out and weed. I try not to do it when it's 95 degrees out. That's just kind of impossible. I can't do that. I'm getting kind of old for that. But that's all I have for beautification. But ordinance review, we met this last Monday. So I want to meet with you, Mr. Mayor, because we did go over the standing committee. We do have a recommendation for it. I need it typed up so that it can be approved. And also that on the next board meeting, we will approve, we went over the reimbursement and it was okay. So I want to make sure we get that on the agenda. Our meetings are going to be the fourth Thursday of every month. So the next one will be August 28th, and we're going to be here at the Village Hall at 6:30. So right now, we're doing like a standing thing, like every fourth Tuesday, every fourth Thursday, Monday, oh my gosh. Every fourth Monday, we will have an ordinance review meeting. And that concludes my report.
Did you say 6:30?
6:30.
I just want to add a footnote, trustees, or for trustee Todd. Right now, we do have the students or young workers from Bloom Township aiding her, and she's done a wonderful job in front of this building, the police department, and the community center. And she's taken them to other areas and aspects. I don't know what she's going to do once they're gone, because it seems that she's the only one. So she has two of the people helping her, the students, but once they're gone in another few weeks, she'll be by herself. So she does need help in beautification, because they do weed, they water, because some areas are not remotely. If you leave this area right here, if you go out there to where the sign is at on 294, there's no holes there, so that means they have to carry water. If you go down on Torrance Avenue, there's no holes there, she has to carry water. If you go, now the fire department, there's a hole there for that. But it's just that, if you see those places, you see where it is at, they're doing a great job. The next thing I understand they're going to try to tackle is across the street from where the sign is at, across the street right there on 394 and Sauk Trail, the north end right there, where you see the tall weeds, and that's gonna take something. So she does need help, she does need volunteers, but I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Zupan.
The Public Safety Committee will be meeting next Wednesday. That is August 2nd, here at Village Hall at 6 p.m. And as always, I am asking for volunteers. If anyone is interested in participating in that committee, please reach out to me. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Zupan.
When?
Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. here.
Okay. Unfinished business, as I stated before, is ongoing, the strategic plan for progress. If you have anything that you would like to discuss, talk about, or anything that's in there, we're going to be pretty soon bringing this up for a vote. So if you have anything that you see that may not be, or you have some questions or something that's not in there, please get those thoughts and to me in a written form, and we can disseminate it throughout the trustees and let everyone see what it is. I don't want to wait till the last minute. Once we do it, then hopefully that we don't have to go back and forth. Okay, new business. I'll entertain a motion, first of all, to add a hand check for R&R maintenance in the amount of $2,340.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee Todd, second by Trustee Grant. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question, not related to this motion. Can I ask that question right now? Let's talk Council Payable.
No, Council Payable, we do that separate. This is just for this one.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Madam, please call the roll.
Jones?
Yes.
Tate? Todd?
Yes.
Zupan?
Yes.
Brewer? Yes. Grant?
Yes.
Motion carried. I'll entertain a motion for a hand check for Smart in the amount of $100.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee Zupan, and second by Trustee Todd. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Zupan?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Tate?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Brewer? Yes.
Motion carried. Now, a motion to accept accounts payable and disbursements in the amount of $464,922.93.
So moved.
You moved, I need a second.
Second.
Okay. It was moved by Trustee Todd, second by Trustee Tate. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
A couple questions. First question is on page 1. Towards the bottom, under elected officials, I see the previous mayor. Just want to know what was going on there. For a total of $87 for one line item, another line item for $179.20, another one for $23.20.
Okay. The one for $87 was a disposition that he gave downtown, and that was for his meal, travel, and parking. He handed that in to get reimbursed. The second one that you see there for $179.23, I was told that it was for him going to Springfield. I don't know how that happened because I went to Springfield, so I don't know. This is a separate occasion that he came and he had a bill, and that I did question that also.
He went to Springfield during his term?
It had to be during his term, yes, sir.
My second question is, the next page, page 2, about halfway down, under General Fund Police Department, I see that Officer Fredrickson was reimbursed for gas, $21.32. chief's not here to answer that, but I just thought I would just ask. Mohan's not either. I'm sure you probably, you don't know the details, but I just thought I'd point that out.
I'm still waiting on the answer to that. To tell you the truth, I asked that one too, and I was given no answer, so he did present a bill, and that's why it's there. Why he hasn't presented a bill, I know this happened about a year ago, but this particular, that was because there was no gas. The village didn't have any gas in the tank, so he had to do his job, so he could take it out of his own pocket and got reimbursed. This one, he did present a ticket for what reason, I'm not able to answer that.
I have a couple,
That's it, okay.
I have a couple of questions. Under the credit card payments, apologies, I know I should have addressed this with the finance director earlier. Two charges that jumped out at me. One didn't even have an expense detail around it for $3.95, just a vendor called EIG. So it caught me off guard that we wouldn't know what it was that we spent that $3.95 on. And then also we spent $18.99 on a t-shirt. Not really sure I understand why we were buying a t-shirt. So I'll follow up with Mr. Rao on that.
Okay.
The other question I have, and I'm sorry I'm opening this can of worms, I know I'm doing it. We seem to have changed our approach to how we are putting the header on the accounts payable reports again. The last time we approved accounts payable, the invoices, if you look at the top of page 1, it said from November 1st of 2013 to to July of 31st of this year. I see tonight the top of the pages are changing to now say November 1st of 2016 to today's date. So I'm a little confused as to why we're jumping around changing our headers on accounts payable again. I mean, I know what we're going to approve is the amounts that are detailed here on these pages, but I wish we could pick something and stick with it and understand and agree what it is we've decided. And I don't know, maybe if Trustee Grant has that answer.
I think it's the way he runs this report. So, for example, he's pulling for that time period, he's paying things that may have happened at November 1st of 2016. So they're just included that way. But we're paying them within these last 2 weeks since the last board meeting, if that makes sense.
None of these invoices are that old.
And I saw that as well. That was what was told, but.
So maybe if we can put that on the agenda for the next committee meeting, then please.
Yes, because I understand, I know that what you're saying, and I asked the same question, and I was told that there was something in here for 2016, I don't see it. So, thank you for bringing that up. And this will be addressed. Any more questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Todd? Yes. Tupin?
Yes.
Gruber? Yes. Grant?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Tate?
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, motion to approve the 2017-2018 budget.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve the 2017-18 budget with revenues listed in the amount of $14,648,483.44 and expenses of $18,276,645.77. I move that those be approved as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Now, she moved.
Oh, I second. Well, because she read the whole thing again.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It was moved by Trustee Tupin, second by Trustee Todd. Any questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Todd.
Yes.
Zupan.
Yes.
Brewer.
No.
Grant.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Motion carried. I entertain a motion to approve the ordinance of the 2017-2018 budget appropriation.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the 2017-2018 appropriations. Ordinance pursuant to 65 ILCS 58-2-9 with revenue of $14,648,403.44 and expenditures of $18,276,645.77 to be approved as presented.
Second.
It was approved by trustee Grant and second by trustee Zupan. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Tate.
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Zupan.
Yes.
Brewer.
No.
Grant.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance 2017-2018 call pay schedule for the Sauk Village Fire Department and Emergency Management Agency personnel.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by trustee Grant, second by trustee Todd. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Todd.
Yes.
Zupan.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Brewer.
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Motion carried. Comments and discussions from the mayor and the board. I'll start with trustee Todd.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Trustee Brewer.
In regards to the budget, I voted no because I think the budget is unbalanced. It's very well written, and you can understand certain things and you could ask questions. But I think the budget is unbalanced and it's unrealistic to believe that we're only going to go in there and borrow $300,000 for the water fund. We have already used $225,000 of that money, so we're going to have to go back into the water fund, and so we should up that allotment from the water fund. In addition to that, I'm told that there's going to be a budget deficit, but however that's going to be solved when we have the property taxes come in. However, nobody told us about the bond payment that's due and is past due, and that's not addressed in the budget as well. Again, in the budget for the CDBG block grant, it indicates that we're going to get $400,000. Now, as long as I've been here, we have never gotten $400,000. I think that cost is a little inflated. Again, we're going to get $1.5 million from residents relating to water revenue, and there's not one mention in here about capital improvement plans for infrastructure. And my question is, and that is my biggest thing, is that what are we doing for the residents? Residents are paying out all this money. There's nothing budgeted for capital improvement for infrastructure. And again, this budget to me is unbalanced. You can't borrow money from the water fund, not put it back and say you have a surplus in the general fund. Once you borrow money, you have to put it back. This budget shows that we have a surplus, and that's not true, because they have not paid the money back to the water fund. As I understand it from the finance director, we haven't paid any money back to the water fund in the last 4 years. So that again, I think is misleading. Even though this is a well-written budget, I think it doesn't address the budget deficit, nor does it address the people, the village, the residents' needs. And again, with the appropriation ordinance, I do believe that even though it says 14 million in revenue and 18 million in expenditure, that we should address those issues in the ordinance. I really think it needs to be spelled out, and we need to let people know that that the budget has a deficit of $3.6 million. We have been elected to be out front with people, let people know where we have a budget deficit of $3.6 million. Residents are gonna pay more than $1.5 million of water revenue, and nothing's gonna be done. We don't have any capital improvement plan for residents, and that's my opinion.
Is that it?
That's the end of my opinion, yeah.
Trustee Tate?
Thank you. We started last week collecting for the raffle. As you recall, we used a volunteer from the audience who let us measure his length of his arm, which turned out to be 20 tickets. A little higher than I wanted, but okay, so it's 20 tickets. I have the tickets here tonight. Tickets are $1 each, or you can get 20 for $10. These funds are going to be used to offset the total cost for the flags and accessories for Village Hall and for the Senior Center. The drawing is going to be held on the 16th of September at the corner of Dog Roast. You will be able to purchase tickets on that date if you haven't gotten them by then. You see containers that have been set up. You can place the ticket in all the containers, whatever you want. So that's what the red tickets and the colorful jars are for. One thing, and the resident is not here, she gave me last week a flyer, and she gave it to me because I have housing. And this flyer talks about a lot of great things for Sauk residents. When I called the company, the owner stated they are registered with the state of Illinois, which I did not verify. But he stated that they are not registered with Sauk Village to do business out here. And what they do, let's say you have roof damage on your home, and your insurance carrier says he's gonna pay you $2,000. And they have people who will assess that, and they say, well, no, it really costs $4,000. So they get involved in negotiating with your insurance carrier to up their bid. Be your own guide, do what you want to do your own background check for this company. Now again, they are not registered with Sauk Village, and all of our contractors are registered with Sauk Village, but they are not. So,
What's the name of the company?
it's Mid-American, M-I-D American. And you may see these flyers in your mailbox or on your doorstep. But the resident gave it to me because she was concerned that it was not a reputable company. And we cannot verify that. All we can say is that they are not registered with Sauk Village. That's what we can say. So that's all. We did have a meeting concerning the housing situation in Sauk Village. As I explained to Ms. Anderson earlier, we are preparing to do another workshop for people who are interested in becoming homeowners. I think this workshop is going to provide you with some background information. You'll be able to talk to the investors, you'll be able to talk to the bank, you'll be able to talk to everyone that's involved to figure out if you want to become a homeowner. Again, we will have this workshop in a couple of weeks, a couple of months probably, to get that solved. We think it's important that we do something, and I'm not sure what we can do in Sauk Village to try to enhance our home ownership and decrease the number of vacant homes. I hate Director Wells on, I had an issue that I need to discuss with him. But we need to do something about decreasing the number of vacant homes that we have in Sauk Village. We hope that when we bring people out to do the workshop, and everyone attends the workshop, you get the information they give you, you get their business cards, you get ground level information from the experts. No one from this board is going to tell you it's a good idea or bad idea to become a homeowner. We want you to make that decision on your own. But we want to try to give you the information that you need in order to pursue home ownership, if that's what your desire is. So we will be working on that in the next couple of months. We want to have the workshop before fall sets in. Ideally, we would have liked to have had it during the summer months because people are moving a lot during the summer months. But we were unable to do that. So we hope to get the workshop by the fall. I'd like everyone to come out and listen to what's being said. Now, one thing is, it's a workshop, it's not a meeting. We had individuals with cameras trying to capture personal information of people that were attending the meeting. Because people inadvertently give out this Social Security number. And I saw it at the last workshop. They give you out who they're employed with, how much money they make. They give out a lot of personal information, not on purpose, just by them talking. So I hope we don't have that issue with the next workshop. I had spoken with the chief of police the last time. He had received instructions from the mayor on how he should handle that. I will be talking again with him to make sure we protect your confidentiality. It is not our job to give out your personal information. If you want to stand in the parking lot and give it out, that's up to you. But inside here, no one should be privy to your personal information. If you inadvertently have to tell them your Social Security number, you say, how can that happen? It does happen. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Chase. Trustee Jones?
I look forward to hearing from any volunteers for the corner dog roast. And I'll look forward to seeing you Saturday at the open gym, starting at 11 a.m. And that's it.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Zupan?
I might be stealing your thunder, Mayor, but I just want to remind everybody that because National Night Out is next Tuesday and we'll be having the events from 6 to 8 p.m. out at the park behind Village Hall, there will not be a committee meeting next week. We will, hopefully the entire board will be out there meeting the residents that have come out to join us for the event. Thank you.
Yeah, you did. Trustee Grant?
Yes, a couple things. I did, per the village clerk, complete my OMA training. And so for the other new trustees, you have until, I think, August 9th, but you get 90 days to complete this. So I'll turn this in to you. And to answer Trustee Brewer's, I guess, concern about the bond payment of $345,000. So technically, the bond isn't due until December 1st. So, and at that time, Mohan will pay the whole $690,000 that's due. And so there is no $345,000 due now. We were going to pay it, we had the cash on hand, but since we don't have, he was going to pay it early, that half of it, but we're just going to wait until December 1st to pay the whole thing. No, I understand.
Thank you.
We have, as elected officials, we have a meeting schedule which identifies the meeting dates for the month of August and 15th and the 22nd. But if you look at the village website, it lists the 1st and the 8th of August on there. So I think it's confusing, it may be confusing for some residents to see two sets of dates and neither one of them coincide with each other. So I think something needs to be done to either eliminate the information that's on the website or change our meeting dates so the residents can show up on a proper day for a meeting and not show up on non-meeting days. And I thank Ms. Zupan for bringing that up, part of that up. One other thing is that I met with and I neglected to mention this, I met with an investor that's out here who wants to cut grass and board up vacant homes. Now, he said that he would provide us with written information on what he's doing, how he's doing it, and how much it's going to cost. So I'm not sure where that will be in, but that's something to think for next season because we're almost at the end of grass cutting season right now. But to piggyback on that, Trustee Brewer had mentioned neighbors willing to cut grass in lieu of having their water bills deducted. So I'd like to see that information so that when he comes in and says, this is what I'm going to do for the village, this is what it's going to cost, I can compare it with what information she has compiled for her residents doing the same or similar job. So there's two things that I need to get pretty quick because I'm not sure when he's going to respond.
Okay. In regard to that part of the grass cutting, you have to come before the board if we're going to hire someone else to do something like that. And the other issue as far as the cutting of grass of residents that are here, there's also a safety issue involved in that. And that's something that will have to be discussed with the board. We can also, if anyone wants to champion that, they can bring it up and put it on the schedule for the committee meeting so we can discuss it.
Mr. Mayor, we had decided on, well, I guess we were talking in committee, and there was something that we was going to look into for next year. Just bring the proposal to you. It's going to be a whole year because we are at the end of the grass cutting season, but, you know,
I'm just saying, we can bring it up.
Yeah, but it won't happen until, if we do it, until next year.
You still need to get in the planning stage. I don't want you to get in the planning stage in May of next year when we're talking about doing it. If you want to plan something like that, let's get it taken care of, looked at, and talked about before the time comes to making that decision. So I'm just stating that if there's somebody that wants to champion that, we need to get that on the agenda to talk about, discuss it, and go from there. Because it's going to take more than one meeting to talk about that. Because like I said, there is an issue there for safety. And the last thing I just wanted to say, I wanted to reiterate, and I did talk about it at the budget meeting. This budget here is the first since I've been on the board that we cut this much money out of the budget from last year's budget, over $500,000. Is everything perfect? No. But what I want, and what I'm looking at is what I told the board, that this money that we have, if everything goes right, we can start paying down on the aging report. There's never been a budget that actually pays down on the aging report that's been stipulated in the budget. It's always taking this budget, or that budget that was voted on, using that money to pay previous and past bills, which now depletes the person's budget because now they have to pay the other bills. Bills are being done in a fiscal year. You have to have something in place, but for it to be an unbalanced budget, that is not, this budget is nowhere near being unbalanced. The revenue we hope to get in, and I'll say this again, the revenue we hope to get in will actually give us money to pay the expenditures that we've already put there. As I stated before, when this budget is passed, which it has been done today, there is no check out there of $18 million or $14 million. But what it does say is that you cannot spend over the allotment that your department has. And if you do, then it has to come before this board. But to make a statement that this budget is not balanced, that's not true, because it is balanced, contingent upon the money that was supposed to get in and what we're supposed to spend. There was a lot of things in this budget that they had to give up, and I mean I'm talking about department heads. There's a lot of corners to be cut, and there's going to be some more corners to be cut during this next year, even after the budget is passed. Because as you stated before, yes, that's the only way we can do it. As far as money for infrastructure, there's always going to be money for infrastructure. It's not spelled out in here, but it is in there. You was at the budget meeting when Kevin Weller augmented his budget. So we had gave him an amount, and he stated that these are some of the things that he desperately needs. So he added to that. So his budget was raised up because of things that needed to be paid. There will be infrastructure repairs. There will be things that have to be done in this building. There's no way in the world we cannot do infrastructure. When a water main breaks, that's infrastructure. We don't let it run, we fix it. Now the money may or may not be there, but we can't do that. That's an emergency. We can't let the water go up and down. And God forbid if we had Lake Michigan water that did that. How much time do we have before we start getting charged? So yes, infrastructure has to be taken care of before we go to the next step, and infrastructure will be taken care of. But as I stated before, this is a balanced budget. It shows you exactly what our projection for revenue and our projection for expenses. And that's all we can do. That's all any budget can do is give you a projection. And with those projections, it shows that it is balanced, and it's balanced in such a way that we're saving from last year. I'll entertain a motion for to adjourn. Moved by Trustee Jones, second by Trustee Todd. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Sorry.